Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Jan.
That's Chris.
And welcome to CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
And today we'll be discussing Whisper by The Boyz.
If you're wondering who we are, Shan and I have a huge range of experience in the music industry, from performing on stage to working at record labels. So we have a lot of insight into the crazy music industry. And you can join us in these discussions on our Patreon at patreon.com/cctvpops. Shout out to our awesome crew members, Lisette, Lily, and Emily. Special shout out to Lily, who is a big Boyz fan and requested this episode. So hope you enjoy it. All right. The Boyz are back. How do you feel? You went to their concert.
The Boyz, I did go to their concert. It was worth it. It was so worth the trouble I went through. I lost a friend because of the Boyz, y'all. Y'all don't even know. But yeah, no, I like them. I really do. I enjoy them. I think after seeing them live, I really appreciate like their talent. They're good. They're no words, no palabras, like none. Q, solid dancer. Oh my God, he's so good. But yeah, you know, I think their releases this past year have been not hit or miss. They've actually been pretty good because they've been darker. They've been dancing. They had a lot of like universe releases. They had a soundtrack, you know, so it's been interesting to kind of hear what they've been doing. And then like now hearing what they're doing and thinking like, oh, okay, well, that's different. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But how do you feel about the Boyz?
Yes, I still like the Boyz. But I'm going to be honest, the momentum has kind of slowed down a little bit for me. I think, you know, this is their first Korean comeback in 9 months. Right. I wasn't a huge fan of Maverick. I wasn't a huge fan of Thrill Ride either. So for me personally, my fandom has kind of died down a little bit. But over the past couple of days, I actually have been watching their B-Zone Encore concert, and it was really, really good. So I'm still supportive of the guys, but I think musically they're not my favorite right now.
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
But if you would like to hear more of our thoughts about the Boyz, we do have a Pop 101 episode where we talked about every single song, every title track that they released up until, I believe, The Stealer. So yeah, definitely go check that out if you haven't. But today's episode is about the new song. Let's find out if Whisper is a bop or a flop. This is It Boppin'? Here, we listen to the song and discuss the production, lyrics, video, and everything in between. So let's find out, is it a bop or a flop?
Whisper was done by Willie Weeks, Cho Yoon Kyung, Kyler, Nico, Jacob, and Sunwoo. So I have to say, production-wise, the song is a little bit familiar. It's giving last summer a little bit. You know, it's giving a Silla ride a little bit. Thrill Ride for those who read the actual title, not make fun of the way they say it. But yeah, honestly, I feel like whoever sent the team, whoever sent the producers the brief decided, hey, listen, you hear this song? Recreate it, because this song is a little bit of a copy paste moment. And I feel like I can really sing Thrill Ride to this. I sang it a couple times, actually. My mind kept kind of retroactively singing it. And I thought, wait, that's not what we're talking about today. Mm-hmm. Right? Did you feel that? Like
I did. Like that could very easily just be sung with the chorus, which is interesting. I believe one of the writers is the same. But yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. Honestly, it feels even more juvenile than Thrill Ride, which I hate that for them. When I saw that it was called Whisper, and especially with the Wings of Desire teaser thing that they put out, I was like, oh, they're finally going like sexier again. Right. And unfortunately, this is the exact opposite. Like, I think it's kind of crazy because these boys are heading into their mid-20s, right? Like, they're all like with like the 22 to 25 range now, I believe. And it feels like they're kind of, and I hate to compare, I know people hate comparing K-pop groups, but I'm sorry, I'm going to do it. They sound like they're trying to do what NCT Dream have managed to do so well, because NCT Dream, obviously they started as very, very young kids, and now they're maturing and their sound is maturing with them.
Yes.
And they're doing it very well because they've mastered the balance of coolness and brightness. And this song, I think, tried to do that, but does not do so very successfully, unfortunately. For me, production-wise, there's some interesting moments here. I think the bubble sound is fun. The like, I can't do it.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah. And I think the build in the chorus is good, like production-wise, not even taking into account like the chorus melody and stuff. And there is a nice kind of bouncy bass line that is very summery. But melodically, what did you think of the song melodically?
Oh, man. Oh God, I can't even remember the melody. I was getting ready to play while you were talking, actually. Oh my God. I feel so bad. I've been listening to this song all day. I've been working, listening to it. I was putting things away, listening to it. I've been listening to it nonstop, and my mind just keeps shifting back to, I have my headphones in. I got some real good headphones, y'all. I would say, like, production-wise, there are some nice notes. There's some good panning left to right. And there's some interesting, like, there's a really creepy laugh in the beginning, y'all, with the ad lib. It goes, or some weird laugh. I was like, what's happening? It was so weird. It was so weird. But yeah, I mean, it's not that. I'm trying to think. One thing that really stood out to me is that I thought my phone alarm was going off because there's a bell sound in the production, and melodically, it's not terrible. There are some interesting notes here and there that I really appreciate, and I think my highlight moment is second verse because of how darker it gets and how I guess more hip hop it gets. Even in the bridge, it gets a little bit more hip hop with the trap drums and whatnot. But I have to say, I mean, thinking about what they've released this year. Like, She's the Boss. That was great.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, I get it's J-pop, but I really wonder how they gauge and like figure out what goes to what territory. Because I mean, back in the early 2000s, maybe 2010s, J-pop was more rock oriented. But since now that K-pop has a chokehold on the pop industry, I think it's safe to say that either one could be switched over. I mean, look at XG, all Japanese members singing in English, promoting on Korean shows, so it's doable. So I'm very confused as to why She's the Boss wasn't the chosen single. And then they had Maverick last, but I can remember that melody a lot better than the melodies that were here. And it's kind of it's a little unfortunate. And even Sweet, the song they had for The Universe, was better than this. And even sonically, it was still sweet. It was still bright, but it was like future bass for them. Like, they do future bass so well. And I don't know why they're not leaning more into it as opposed to going for this R&B dance thing that SM has already kind of like cornered and monopolized, so sorry guys.
I agree. I think the pre-chorus, that kind of R&B pre-chorus, is very SM, and I do like that part though. But the chorus, I don't know. I mean, we'll get into the lyrics and stuff later, but just the whisper, whisper, whisper. It's like, okay. I mean, it's fine. And then the stay, play. It's just like, okay. Like, I get it. Like, it's catchy, but it's just not very creative. And like, getting into now the vocals, they don't sound that excited singing it either. But yeah, before we get into the vocals, did you have anything else to add about the song itself?
You know what? I will say that it is not terrible. I feel like, there was some intention behind it, but the intention wasn't strong enough to like outgrow, like, oh, it has potential. Nothing outstanding, honestly. And I feel like the vocals both helped and hindered it. Like, mostly hindered because of certain vocal tones that were used, which makes me think, was this for another group and it got sent over to the boys, or was this meant for the boys? Like, hey, we're making the boys' sound. Like, God, a lot of the high pitched ad libs and the sub vocal lines lean toward like a young boy hitting on an older woman, like, a problem, or things like that. It just felt so, it kind of infantilized them a little bit, where I'm just like, they don't have to be cute, especially at Jacob's part. Like, no, baby, no. Especially after you had this whole like low voice in the second verse. I'm a problem. I'm gonna be I feel like I'm like babysitting this little voice, like Stewie. Like, I feel like I'm babysitting.
So I think I'm going to talk about the lyrics of the vocals together because they because they're related, right? The thing is with the lyrics, the lyrics don't match the song. The song is super bright and cute, but the lyrics are actually quite suggestive. They're about like being seduced, essentially, right? Being successfully seduced. Like they're like, this whisper is doing it for me. It's taking me places. Let's do this, right? That's what the lyrics are saying. But this song and the way it's sung are not portraying that. And so that's the big problem. And I also get the kind of it doesn't have to be a younger person seducing an older person. It's more just like two people where one is trying to be like very intimate and sexy and whispery and, you know, seducing in that way. While the other person is like bouncing around and is like, I'm horny, let's do this. And that, you know what I mean? It's those two types of horniness, I guess, that are in conflict here. And that's what kind of just doesn't make any sense, because vocally, like, even the fact that the song is called Whisper and there's really no true whispering in it. We get some more breathy kind of stuff. But it's like you singing whisper, whisper. It's like, okay, like this is not sexy. It's not seductive, which is what the lyrics are about. And I'm a big problem. Like that definitely sounds juvenile. Like it's, like I just don't understand. I would say, like you mentioned the second verse, Sunwoo, he sounds good. He sounds really good. Yes. And Haknyeon has this little part at the end of it too, where they are doing a kind of at least sexier, kind of breathy, kind of low thing. And it totally works. But then the song just goes back to what it was doing before. So then you kind of lose that anyway. And I will say, going back to what I was saying, where their sound feels copied, I guess. Like it just doesn't feel distinctive to them. I think Nu and Hyunjae have memorable tones, so whenever I hear them, I'm like, okay, it's the Boyz. But that's not enough to define a group's sound.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Sunwoo's part's the only thing that stands out where I can actually say, and I think it helps that he wrote it, but I can actually say not many people could do it the way he does it. So I can't say that for the rest of the song, though.
Oh, yeah. It's tough. I mean, when you have something like this that is seemingly not meant for this group, because they've done sweet, they've done, you know, playful before. I mean, like if you think about Salty, that's garage. You think about Boom Boom Pow, I think that sounded like them. It didn't sound too much like an NCT song, but you could still be like, okay, dance, dance, dance. Like they have so many other songs that are bright.
Yes.
But you can remember them a little bit better. Yeah. It doesn't feel like, oh yeah, this could have been an SM track. It just felt like them. You know, with Right Here, I wasn't thinking like, I thought EXO only because like, you know, the way the choruses were like together, but I didn't think, oh yeah, EXO should have had this. It was like, this is the way it's a song. This one, I agree with you. And I think going back to what you were saying about voices, I feel like when they were singing lower and not like pushing, like Q in the first and then the chorus, they were nice. They just would have just done a little bit lower. Even in the chorus, there's low harmonies and it grounds those parts even more. Whisper, whisper, whisper. I'm like, okay, there it is. Something's there that's keeping it from like completely floating up into this random cloud that this whole video is based on. But I mean, the line distribution wasn't like terrible, but it wasn't like great either, because you have who was it that didn't sing that much? Sangyeon, he didn't sing at all. And he's a great singer. He would have been great in some of these parts, but they didn't give him anything. You know, the leader, he didn't really get anything. He had some and that was it. But back to what you were saying about the lyrics. You're hilarious, but you're right. The song is definitely about doing the nasty. In my mind, it's already there. You know, like losing control and going for the wild stuff. Like the lyrics, I feel like in the demo, they were leaning toward like the size of the boat and the motion of the ocean, like, you know, sway, sway, play, and like the big problem, how you gonna handle me? Like I'm thinking in the sense of like, hey girl,
I did go there. Okay, understood. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like, understood. Okay, listen, y'all. Listen, before y'all try to be like, oh, you're being nasty. A lot of English demos are absolutely gross, but then you get them in changed for like in Korean.
I just didn't go as far as you did, but I get it. I'm sure as well. That's
right. Yeah. You know, I could be wrong, but it's just like, I'm a big problem. How are you going to handle me? It has nothing to do with I mean, again, motion of the ocean and the size of the boat. But that goes right back into, I wish they had not done the whole, I'm a big problem. Like it's not cute. not cute.
Yeah, even that how you handled me. I forget exactly how it's done, but
how you gonna
imagine
handle
if that
me?
was whispered.
Oh,
You
that'd
know,
be
like
great.
just
Yeah.
very confused by the choices here.
Yes, you know what? You know what was missing? Another rapper as well to kind of bring the coolness back. Eric is not here.
True.
He writes his own raps as well, and it just sucks because they don't have that extra voice to kind of play off of Sungwoo. Because when they're together and they kind of rap in tangent, it just feels a lot more cool. And he's not there. They have a bunch of singers and cute boys, which is fine, but they needed Eric in the situation. So I hope he gets better soon.
Yes, I do hope he gets better soon as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the visual. Obviously, they released a music video at the same time as well. Yeah. So what did you think of the video?
They're so cute. Oh, they're so cute. After seeing them in person, boy, they look so good in the video. They look so handsome. You can definitely see that they're like comfortable, if that's the word I want to say there, is the word I want to use. They feel like young men that just graduated college and they're out there in the world kind of just living their lives. Like it just doesn't feel like they're kids anymore. So it doesn't feel like they weren't too cute though. They weren't pushing the cuteness. There were certain things that they would do. I was like, okay, that gesture was cute, but it wasn't like, I'm trying to be 18 years old in a 24-year-old's body. It didn't feel too much like that. Some little things here and there, like playing with the balloons and things like that. I felt a little like, ugh. But it fit each person's personality within the video. You know, you have Jacob with the balloons. He has a sweet smile. You have New opening the box and he's like, oh my God, but he kind of looks like a fairy. So he's in the flowers. So everything looked really pretty. But I have to say that nothing really makes sense in this video. And you know me, I'm a tin hat person when it comes to music videos. There was not much tin hatting to do here. You know, like a watchtower in the clouds, Q eating lychee, the bee museum, them in a lab, the balloon party in a corner of that lab. Like it didn't make any sense, but it was really pretty. So there's that.
Yeah. Okay. That's unfortunate that I was hoping that you would get more than I did. Cause definitely I was like, I do not understand what's going on. None of these rooms make any sense together. I liked the kind of sex dungeon moments cause they actually at least fit the lyrics a little bit. But like the random movie theater they're dancing in front of, like the flowers, like the soft, fluffy, like loudspeaker thing.
The bee light stick. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't understand what the concept was.
Neither.
But I agree. I think comfortable actually is a good word. I think it's just a genuine confidence. Like these boys are clearly feeling themselves more now. Like they know they're very good looking. And I think that comes very naturally kind of with their age, right?
Yeah.
Because it actually is that age of where you're just graduating college and you're like now an adult, right? Yeah. That kind of early mid-20s kind of situation. So that makes sense to me, but that just annoys me even more because this song is supposed to be sexy, or like I don't know. It's like they want to be sexier, and the song is written to be sexier, but it's not produced that way. And then so the video is like this weird mix of them acting kind of sexy and older, but then they're surrounded by like pink fluff and they have to do like heart signs and stuff, and it just doesn't make sense to me, and it just reflects how I feel like the song makes no sense to me. And nothing in this video stands out to me at all. Like no scene is something I would remember listening to the song. Like,
not your sex dungeon? Your sex dungeon, as you call it.
No, I mean, that was fine, but we've seen much better and cooler sex dungeons in other K-pop videos.
Yes.
Right?
This is true. Yeah, this is true.
So this just isn't it. I'm confused.
No. You know what? I feel like whatever this is like a buffer between what's coming next, right?
Right, but if you've been gone 9 months, why do you need a buffer? This should be a top single. This should be really good. This should be them coming back and being like, we're an awesome boy group and we're taking 2022. Get ready.
Yeah, no, you're right. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of the boy groups lately have been like not doing it for me. The girl groups have been killing it though. You know, we have like New Jeans, which I really do want to talk about because their concept is a little too sexy for their age, which again, we'll get there.
Just the one song. Just the one song. I
mean, yeah, but like even like with the whole we'll get to that. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, after being gone for 9 months, going on this world tour, your first world tour, the bar is set so high. You are right. I do agree. The bar was just set not too high, but it's set really high. And I think they need to jump. They need to jump for it. at this point, because it's just
yeah. So the song
Yeah.
came out this morning for us at the time of this
Yes.
recording. So we have not seen a performance yet, but what did you think of the choreography that we do see in the music video?
Okay, so the highlight for me is definitely Jacob and Haknyeon's like little duet that they did. I love the fan kick over Haknyeon
Yeah.
as he's going underneath. Jacob's a lot more flexible than I always think he is because he's a tall dude. He's a big dude. But yeah, I think that moment is good. And I would love to see the choreography because they are talented. But one thing I will say, I think they may have used the same choreographer for this video because the bouncing for the chorus was very
Yes.
much and it was the same bounce, knee in the hands. It was just so similar that at this point, I don't think it was outstanding enough. Even with the whisper, it was very obvious. I mean, at that point, you can use a canon, whisper. There's so many things you could do with the whole concept of being a whisper, especially as it's echoing. And I didn't get that in this video. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to put my choreographer hat on, but I feel like there's a lot of things you could have done. There's so much echoing. You could have used cannons or ripples, if you will. There's so much that could have been done. I mean, the formation seems cool in the second verse. I think that's my favorite part, like just vocally in general. But I feel like it's just a bunch of like pauses and stopping and up and down and nothing really outstanding. Like again, Thrill Ride had the roller coaster. This had cute boys doing good dancing as usual. I mean, Junyeon was killing it. With his, I don't know what he was doing, but he was like, body, like,
no, I mean, I think for them as dancers, they're very good. Like they're very much up there as one of the best dance groups, I think, out there right now. So they don't disappoint performance-wise, but I agree the choreography is getting a little tired. Like it all kind of is now blending together. And to be honest, I actually thought the same when watching the concert too. I think they might want a couple other creatives in there just to kind of switch it up. Because I think they sold it as performers, but actually like choreography wise, it was all very kind of, the musicality is the same. Like, you know, it's just a very similar ideas throughout a lot of the different songs. So yes, I agree with that. I did not like that little like shimmy thing for the stay. I was like, you know, we say a lot on this show that it's the smaller moments, the small movements that can sometimes be the most effective or the most memorable. But in this case, this one just isn't it.
No, this is too small.
And it's not dynamic enough.
No, not at all. Yeah, no. And the thing is we're not saying that they're bad dancers. It's just been so consistent that it's hit a plateau.
Yes, no, they're amazing dancers. They're amazing dancers, but the thing is, you just got to keep it fresh. You know, they're a bit older now. They have a lot of singles, you know, so it's like you got to make sure that you're keeping things fresh and still keeping the interest of the people that like you, you know, because if you're just doing more and more of the same, like people get bored.
Yes, indeed. Wow. Again, I would love to see how all this looks like, just kind of like as a side by side, because you're right. Yeah, it is. They need to switch up the team a little bit, just kind of. There's so many different sounds they could explore, but you know, we are at the end where we're gonna have to give our final score. So what is your rating for the overall? Oh my god, you're scaring me. Oh my god.
Okay. I am going to give it a 6. How about you?
Oh my god. Lily, do you feel this? That was stab of betrayal. Okay. I wasn't gonna go that low. Actually, I feel like it kind of just slots in with just, you know, it's okay. It's not as good as Thrill Ride. It's not as good as Sweet or any of their older songs to me. So I gave it a 7. I didn't give it that. Damn, he said 6. Damn.
Yeah, because their other stuff is better. Sorry.
Is it safe to say this is a flippity flop?
I think so. It is for me.
Yeah, the song's a little bit of a flippity flop, but I mean, oh dang it. Honestly, I feel like going forward, they need to explore different sounds. I don't know what's going on with the A&Ring over there, but they need to explore new sounds. I mean, like if they look a little bit more West, like, or maybe not, or more in Europe. I don't know where they're getting their sounds from. Actually, if they're getting it from like Californians and like, you know, other people who are working with SM, they need to get away from that. But like, there's so many different sounds they can use. Like they did Salty was garage. They did, they can do rock even. Like there's so many awesome things that they can do. Like what's that group called from William? Drippin'. Yes, Drippin' with One. They had that song One. That song was freaking dope. but they're not big enough to kind of like carry it really, unless the fans just really like it. But there's so many different sounds that they can do, and I feel like at this point the whole R&B pop thing is getting a little played out, only because SM has all of these artists, all these male artists as well.
The whole NCT family.
Yeah. At this point, they have to abandon it and kind of just not start from scratch, but just go harder because it's safe. Right now, it's really safe. This is not giving me, we're making a mark right now. You can listen to it, yeah, sure, but it's just not strong enough. And I'm hoping that with the little teaser that they gave us, it was dark, it was dismal. I'm hoping they go for that, because you can do hip hop and make it dark. Yes. You can do that. You can do, it's just they have to figure out what it is to kind of revamp themselves, because they not overexpose themselves, but Kingdom kind of did it. Road to Kingdom. They might be a little bit tired creatively. They need to kind of throw it out and then rebuild, you know? So
yeah, I'm still intrigued by the whole Wings of Desire thing. I think, like you said, the preview, the little teaser that they put at the end of this music video is enticing. I think I'm still very curious what they're going to do, and I'm still hoping and praying for their success, because I think they're very talented. But yeah, you know, you mentioned the Japanese singles at the beginning of the show too, and I loved She's the Boss. And I think there were really good songs on the album as well. So I would love, I believe, I would guess that it's a separate A&R team that works on the Japanese stuff. So yeah, maybe they should switch that up a little bit or work together. Because She's the Boss was a great example of where I thought they were headed. So that's why this feels just a little reductive. But I'm hoping what you said about this potentially just being a teaser single, a buzz single. I hope that is correct. But the thing is, it's like, I went through kind of I actually listened to our Pop 101 episode and also kind of went through some of their old title tracks, because I was kind of like, I remember saying, like, you know, Bloom Bloom and DDD, like all those, they were kind of juvenile, but this song sounds more juvenile than those even. Like even than Boy, you know, like there's something weird about what's happening here. And like, they're also at a transition age-wise. I know I keep mentioning that, but like,
but it matters.
This is important. Like getting into your 20s is a big change. And so I just don't fully understand where their sound is, because it's not matching where their lives are. Totally. And all this recent stuff like Maverick, Thrill Ride, like I could name another K-pop boy band or 3 or 5 that are doing kind of the same sounds or could do those songs just as well as the boys are, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like even the whole mini album, like this whole mini album that this track is on was very underwhelming. Like I can't even name a single track for you now. I can't sing anything back for you.
1 + 1 = 1. I hate Genius. Genius is the worst one. I was so disappointed. I'm like, how did you go from the Reveal album to this? I was bro.
Like I would love can the people who did like No Air or something come back? Like I thought that was so interesting. I know you weren't like a huge fan of that song, but like for me, I was like, this is like interesting and it's cool. And like imagine that like a couple years on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't need to necessarily be tropical. I just like appreciated like the kind of vibe they were going for, where it was like a little cooler and like a little more effortless. Because this is just them trying to be super cute and stuff. Like it just doesn't work anymore. They're too old now.
No, totally. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's kind of what's holding them back, is their creative team. Because I feel like they want to do it, they want to go for it, but it's just, hey, what happens in K-pop? There is no liberty in that sense, unfortunately. And they're not self-produced, so it's going to be a lot more difficult to create, I guess, to carve out their own face in this very saturated.
Yeah, can Sunwoo just take over as A&R or something? His parts are always the best parts too, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Ooh, goodness. Well, the B, Lily, me. This was not our favorite here at CCTV, but you know, if you do like it, don't feel bad. It's not a he hates it. But yes, let us know what you all think about this track, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. or message us at CCTV Pops on all social media. Let us know what your ranking is. And also be civil, be kind, okay? Also, you can join us on Patreon. We would love to hear your thoughts, and you can help us decide our next episode topics like our CCTV crew member, Lily. Please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. And for our listeners, give us a rating and a review on your podcast platform of choice. Until next time, that's Chris.
That's Shan.
And we are CCTV.